this situation just got worse. Quick context, Weeb, a popular Roblox anime creator, taking it upon himself to, and I'm quoting loosely, make a game that will change the way people view anime Roblox games. He disappeared with 15K of YouTube revenue and went to work, eventually leaving his cave, and he announced that he had made a game with the intention to show his devs that he could make any game he wanted and it would be successful, while calling out multiple creators in the Roblox dev scene, building a roster of enemies including their fan bases. He released his project Shinobi Battlegrounds, which he would see success in, but would be short-lived. Not less than a few hours, many of the community of YouTubers and just players would notice that his game had many bugs and was basically undercooked for the most part. Bugs, glitches, and basically just a very grindy game which he said he would not make, which would eventually make him shut down the game and apologize to the community for his actions and decisions. Now things were quiet on the scene. Everybody was looking around like, why would he what was the purpose of even dropping a game while you were making another game? The only other people who did this were the creators of Anime Legends, who released the game Anime Warriors, which I actually spent a bit of money on after seeing a bit of its flashy promise. I at least had to test it out, but as it inevitably died because of its balancing and unfavorable content loop, which was a way to support the other game, which is not a bad idea. In fact, a very lucrative idea, but very looked down upon the percentages of older players and anyone who's not under the spell of gacha games. So this led to many backlash videos after the shutdown, with some videos hurting Weeb more than others. The scene has just turned his back on him at this point. For the most part, besides a few people speaking up on his behalf, all he had was the people who were defending him and his reluctantly loyal fan base. This would cause Weeb to release a video called The Truth, where then he would tell the truth, where he would truly let people know how he feels. Amongst a good few points, most of it, if not all of the video, was Weeb not explaining about why the game gone bad development-wise, but why he would even release the game in the first place. But the video would be contradictory. At first, he would explain his purpose changed from YouTube to developing, with a story of how he felt burnout and depression from YouTube's loop, which most big creators go through. But during his development, he burned through the initial 15K, which left him 5K. Since he can't access his life funds, which he says multiple times in the video he feels depressed about. So he says, while in a depressed state, quote unquote, I'm going to make a smaller game in 3 months with a couple of developers and see how it goes. The question is, why would you need to make a game in your position instead of other guaranteed incomes? Keep this in mind. He then continues his videos to say that he's changing his purpose and the video has been set in stone. But in the comments, a different story. RevolveAgz leaving a brutal but detailed comment. Mental health is important. Mental health is important and everyone matters. However, Red is actually a grown man. He stated that games on Roblox right now are boring. Games like Arcane Odyssey are bad, etc. Then he goes on to say he's never going to make a bad game, prove people wrong, never make a game as bad as AGZ, etc. Then proceeds to make a bad game. That was barely even playable. Of course, content creators and the community will cover it, clowning on the game for it being literally the opposite of what he said it was going to be. Then as a response, he starts saying how he wants to end it all. Yes, people go through real problems. But from his video, he's making it sound like he wanted to end it all because we were clowning him from his failed project. What in the name of victim complex is going on? This made Weeb rage apparently, and 2 days later, another video emerged, and now we are in the present. This video of Weeb was very hard to watch, if I can be real with you. Going through the video, you would just see him reading, but initially twisting words, taking things out of context, red herrings, and straw mans, basically just removing the focus of what the topic actually is and attacking another source to make his argument seem like it's valid, but it's just him, like whatever is going on in his head, he is just hearing something else or reading something else, while also repeating over and over things that don't really sound genuine and sound like they're placed in the sentence to evoke emotions in a younger audience, which is more than likely 50% or more of his audience. So, and to put a cherry on top of that, at the end of the video, he then proceeds to hit the nail on the head that AGZ was making fun of the fact that he was trying to commit suicide at the lowest point of his life because he had lost funds, which he had never even spoken about, and it's simply not true. Then he goes on a rant saying how AGZ is focused only on clout, trying to take his spot because he sees him as a competitor, and how he's disgusting for his attitude that Agz had towards him, trying to roast him for entertainment value. It was really cringy and desperate at the same time, my personal opinion. From a standpoint of a goober who doesn't pay attention for videos more than 8 seconds, it would really seem like he's making a genuine argument. But from a standpoint of a man, you can see that this man is hurt and how this situation has off-put you. And taking things out of context, twisting words, and straw man fallacies, one makes an argument and the other grabs pieces of the argument and makes it a target, just changing the entire subject to make his argument right. All this on top of the fact that through all of this, he's always been saying that he's trying to prove something. He's trying to prove something to everyone who he sees as opposition, even if it's to the point where he has to twist words and take things out of context, just for people to believe what you say. That you have a victim complex with a little bit of superiority in there, and I'll tell you why superiority as well. The fact that you can have these dreams of grandeur, think that you're going to be the hero, the revolutionary of Roblox, while at the same time pulling your pants down and shitting on the other work of the people below you who built the ground and the work, the stuff that we played, just because you deem them as below you or below your respect. Then having the audacity to mix in emotions with the fact that yes, you are going through something that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, but it still does not excuse the fact that you made a cash grab game. And by definition, it is a cash grab game because you made the game to gain income to continue development as well, which is why you couldn't go back to YouTube, or that's at least what you were telling yourself, because again, you feel you have to prove something to these people and you should do what feels right. I pray for Red Weeb. I pray Red Weeb cleans out his inner circle of friends who are giving him this awful financial advice and he finds some composure. At the end of the day, he failed, and these are the repercussions of his actions. Making the type of video you did to thousands of children does not really feel like you are crying out for help. But then again, I'm not in the position to say. It feels or gives the illusion that you're wanting just some attention and some sympathy from the children that are in your fan base. I just hope he doesn't plan on making more enemies, as having Agz fan, Rel fans, Arcane fans, Bloxfruit fans, and a whole bunch of other Axior fans. That's just a terrible place to be in. He needs to find some real counsel to confide in, get his mental health and physical health right, and stop acting compulsively. You're still young, dude. Chill the fuck out. Hitman Dev, I'll see you later.